Hello, friends. This is our last read aloud for this domain. Okay, it is called What Do a Flag, a Bell, and an Eagle Have in Common? Our learning objectives for today are to describe the contributions of the founding fathers and others, identify and explain the significance of several U.S. symbols, demonstrate an understanding of the word symbols, and then use your plan to draft an informational paragraph. Our key vocabulary today are seal and symbols. Now, before you say, but Miss Van Wert, I know what a seal is. It's that animal at the zoo that goes, or. Well, you are right, but you're also wrong, because today we are not talking about that kind of seal. We are talking about this kind of seal. And this kind of seal is an official image or mark, okay? The teacher put her personal seal on each of the papers so that the students knew who graded them. This is the presidential seal, okay? This seal or image represents it's the official mark of the President of the United States. Symbols. Symbols are images or objects that represent something else. The letters of our alphabet are symbols for the sounds that we hear. So the symbol A the letter A is a symbol for the A sound. The letter K is the symbol for the K sound. Based on the title, what do a flag, a bell, and an eagle have in common? What do you think this read aloud is going to be about? I want you to listen carefully to find out if your predictions are correct. What do a flag, a bell, and an eagle have in common with each other? All three are symbols of the United States of America. A symbol is a sign that everybody recognizes and stands for something else. What is this symbol? What does it mean? It's a stop sign, and what does it mean? It means stop. Okay? People see a symbol and know what it stands for. For example, does your school have a mascot, a logo, or a banner? Something that makes you think of your school every time you see it? Yeah, we're the Chargers. So whenever I see a lightning bolt, or if I see a horse that looks like the one that is on our shirts a lot, I think of our school. Okay. Many sports teams have symbols. Can you think of any? I think of the Washington Capitals, which is the ice hockey team for Washington, D.C. We have symbols all around us. Before you even learned to read words, you probably learned to read symbols. Let's find out how a flag, a bell, and an eagle became symbols of or represent the United States of America. You already know a little bit about our flag from the legend of Betsy Ross. The flag with its circle of the 13 stars was not the first flag to be flown in America. Okay. The word stars in this sentence mean the symbols with 5 or more points. The word stars may also mean objects in space that are made of burning gas and look like points of light in the night sky. Okay. During the early days of exploration, flags of many different countries were used to represent land claims. The first official flag of our nation was the one you learned about, flown on Independence Day, July 4th, 1776, and adopted by the Continental Congress a year later on June 14th, 1777. Do you remember what those 13 stars and stripes stood for? The 13 original colonies. As the new country grew, more states were added. With each new state, a new star was added to the flag. Pretty soon, there were too many stars to fit in a circle, so the patterns changed over the years. Now we have 50 states and 50 stars arranged in rows, still on a blue background like the original flag. The same 13 red and white stripes remain as reminders of the 13 original colonies. Can you remember those 13 original colonies? Let's try and do it together. All right, I'm going to start with the ones that are in the north because there are more of those, so it's harder for me to remember those. Okay, we've got Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Oh, I did it. Did you do it? All right. June 14th is National Flag Day in the United States, but our flag is flown every day all across America, from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean, as a symbol of the land of freedom. Now, it's pretty easy to understand how the stars and stripes became a symbol for our nation, but what about a bell? The Liberty Bell, another well-known symbol, is actually older than the United States itself. You learned that liberty was another word for freedom, but why do you think this bell was chosen as a symbol of freedom? In 1751, the mostly copper bell was made in Great Britain and shipped to Philadelphia, where it was rung to call people to meetings in the town square. According to legend, the Liberty Bell may have been rung from the State House steeple after the Declaration of Independence was first read in July of 1776, but we don't know for sure. During the Revolution, the colonists feared that the British might melt down the bell for cannonballs, so it was moved and hidden in a town north of Philadelphia until the war ended. Over the years, the bell cracked and was repaired several times. It was rung for the last time on George Washington's birthday in 1846, when it cracked beyond repair. Today, the bell sits outside Independence Hall in Philadelphia. It's only about 3 feet tall, but it weighs as much as a hippopotamus. So can you imagine when they took it to go and hide it? How many people do you think it took to move this bell that weighs as much as a hippo? If you visit the Liberty Bell, be sure to look for the words of freedom taken from the Bible and written on its side. Proclaim liberty throughout all the land and unto all the inhabitants thereof. Leviticus 25:10. So we have a flag and a bell. The third symbol is a bald eagle, a large bird of prey with a white head and tail, found only in North America. Who chose the American bald eagle as a symbol of our country? To find out, we must return once more to our friends Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. What do you see in this picture? When the Second Continental Congress met and declared independence from Great Britain, they also decided that they were going to need an official seal. A seal is an official image or mark. A seal is also a symbol. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams met to design the seal. They talked about using an eagle on the seal, but Benjamin Franklin said, "No, I don't agree. I think that a turkey would be a much better symbol for our country than an eagle." Why do you think he wanted us to have a turkey? As there was not much time, the men only agreed on part of the seal that year, a statement that read "E pluribus unum," which in Latin means "out of many, one." They chose this saying because they were making one nation out of many separate states. It was not until 6 years later, in 1782, that the bald eagle, a symbol of long life, strength, and freedom, was officially added to the seal. On the seal, the eagle holds an olive branch for peace and in one of its talons. In the other, it grips a bundle of 13 arrows, symbolizing the power of war, covering its breast in a shield of red and white stripes, and around its head a crest with 13 stars. Why do you think there are 13 arrows and 13 stars? For the 13 colonies. If you look carefully, you might be able to read the words written on the scroll of its bill. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Now that you know what to look for, try being a symbol detective. As you go through your day, be on the lookout for flags, bells, and eagles, symbols of freedom and reminders of our country's founders who fought for our freedom long ago. Okay. So in one word, what do a flag, a bell, and an eagle have in common? They're all symbols. Okay. Alrighty, we got our comprehension questions and our word work. What was the main topic or main idea of our read aloud? Our nation has many symbols, including a flag, and a bald eagle, and a bell. Okay. I want you to look at this. What is this a picture of? Our current flag. How has our flag changed over the years? So think about the first American flag versus this current American flag. What's changed? We've added more stars because the stars represent the states, right? And we have 50 states, so we needed 50 stars. Okay. What is this a picture of? The Liberty Bell. Do you remember why they moved it? Why did they move this bell that weighs as much as a hippo? Because the colonists were afraid that the British were going to melt it down for cannonballs. And what about this picture right here? What is this a picture of? A bald eagle. Okay. All right. So word work. In the read aloud you heard, all three are symbols of the United States of America. I want you to say the word symbols with me. Symbols. Can you say it in a mouse voice? Symbols. Can you say it in a robot voice? Symbols. Okay. Symbols are images used to represent something else. Okay. All right. Let's make sure we've hit our learning objectives. Did we describe the contributions of the founding fathers and others? We talked about Betsy Ross's flag. We talked about Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson deciding on our state or on the eagle being our national bird. Did we identify and explain the significance of several U.S. symbols? Mm-hmm. Did we demonstrate an understanding of the word symbols? Yeah. And then here in a minute, you're going to use your plan to draft an informational paragraph. All right, guys. Can't wait to read those paragraphs. Bye.